Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Story Time with Nancy. It's Nancy today, sitting in the very icy cold. My fingers are frozen. I'm sitting in my swinging chair, looking over my labyrinth that I should be walking, but I'm too cold. I don't want to do it. I just want to sit here and read. Curious George goes to an ice cream shop. Have you ever been to an ice cream shop? Baskin Robbins, perhaps? Or do you just get your ice cream from the grocery store in big, huge tubs where it's cheap, and you can eat a lot without paying a lot of money? That's what I do. Okay, George and his friend were cleaning the house. Their house didn't really get dirty. Well, now let's not say that. George lived there. Do you think George made a mess? George is always into everything. I bet George would climb up on the counters. You know, once upon a time, my little girl Elida made me breakfast. She went downstairs. She was little, very little. And she pulled a chair out and she climbed up on the counter and she took out the hot chocolate and she put it in a cup and she got it all over the counter and all over the side of the counter, or the cupboards and the floor. And she brought me up a cup of hot chocolate, I think, unless I got down there first to survey the damage. That was when she was very little. And after that, I threw away the kitchen table and chairs, and I got a picnic table. I did. So we had a picnic table in the kitchen because nobody could move the chairs around. That's right. I had a door handle. I had to put a door handle on my door, and I put it way up high. The door didn't have a handle, so I drilled a hole way up high, and I put the door handle up there so that the kids couldn't open it. Because I've heard about kids and how they escape. Yeah, and they get in lots of trouble. So this was my way of doing it. A picnic table. It's an awesome idea. Anyway, how did we get on that topic? You really get me all confused here. Not really. I just confused myself. George and his friend were cleaning the house. We've worked hard today, said the man. Let's treat ourselves to some ice cream. I think that's an awesome idea. Treat yourself as often as you like. Okay. Look, George, there's a new ice cream place in town, said the man with the yellow hat. Let's give it a try. We've come to try your ice cream, the man said to the owner, who was opening the door for them. I am glad someone has, said Mr. Herb. Come in. Now, why would they call him Mr. Herb? You don't find herbs in ice cream. I just opened the place and no one knows I'm here yet. Oh, if George is going there, they're going to find out pretty quick, aren't they? Well, I'll have a strawberry cone, said the man with the yellow hat. Mr. Herb dipped out a scoop of strawberry. George was curious. Could he scoop ice cream too? Which reminds me, I need to buy a scoop so I can make those fizzy bath balls. I have some errands to do, George, said the man. Stay here until I come back. You can have some ice cream, but don't get into trouble. Well, what happens when you leave a little monkey all by himself somewhere and tell him to be good and don't get into trouble? Have you ever heard anybody say that to George before? Don't get into trouble, George. So what's he going to do? I knew you knew. Take your time deciding, George, said Mr. Herb. I'll start on a special order I have to fill. So then what is the man doing? He turns his back and goes somewhere else. Is that a smart thing to do when you're around George? If you had George and he was in your room playing with your toys and you said you could play there, would you leave the room? I don't think so. George couldn't make up his mind. There were so many flavors to choose from. What do you think he's going to try and do now? I bet he's going to taste them all. Mr. Herb was busy filling a bowl with ice cream. This is my first big order. It's for a party and it has to be just right. Ho, ho, ho. Well, what does that mean? Just talking about it makes you know that it's not going to be just right. Just then the phone rang. That might be another order, said Mr. Herb, and he went to answer it. Well, leaving everything alone. The spoon is in the bowl, all these balls of ice cream, which are just so for the party. And guess what's holding onto the spoon? George's hand. That's right. The next thing you know, George had climbed onto the counter and picked up the scoop. There was a red ball and a green ball and an orange ball of ice cream, and there were other colors too. He dipped it into the banana ice cream and put it in the bowl. And then he dug into the strawberry, the nutty walnut, the raspberry, and the chocolate. Soon there was a mountain of ice cream balls in the bowl. George was just about to put vanilla on top of peppermint when, all of a sudden, George, Mr. Herb yelled. That's not what my customer ordered. He's got his hands up in the air. Oh my gosh. Now I'll have to start all over again, he said. He doesn't like adventures, does he? Get away from here. Mr. Herb was angry. All these grown-ups get angry all the time. They should just hold their tempers. Just little monkeys. Haven't you ever been a little monkey yourself? George was scared. Oh gosh, I was gonna run over to the other counter in front of the window. He's so scared, poor little George. People shouldn't be mean to monkeys. Jeepers creepers. There were jars of cherries, nuts, coconut, whipped cream, and all kinds of sauces, and there was even a bowl of bananas. I think he forgot he was scared. Yep. If he's focusing on those things, I think that his fear has left him. George put some bananas in a dish, and then he added some raspberries, chocolate chips, and whipped cream. I like the non-dairy whipped topping. It's for $2.59. You get it at the grocery store, and you can tip it upside down, squirt it in your mouth. Oh, your mommy didn't want me to tell you that. I'm sorry. You're never supposed to do that. Never, never, never. Don't listen to Nancy today. Nancy today is a strange woman. Okay. So, he's got the bowl of stuff. George was getting hungry. His tongue is hanging out. Suddenly, there was a tapping on the window. George turned around. Outside, there was a crowd watching. Big picture window out there, and they're all seeing him. This is a new store that nobody knows about, and now all the people are outside seeing this monkey working in the ice cream factory. Do you think that the health department would approve of that? What do you think that the health department would do? Do you think they'd say, oh, this is wonderful, let's go have some? No, they'd say, there's a monkey in there, and he's not wearing gloves, and he doesn't have a hat on his head. And add some nuts. George called a boy. How did the boy know his name? I guess he's been in trouble so much in that town. Everybody knows him. Try the sprinkles, said a girl. Don't forget the cherry on top. So George was very busy building this big, huge mountain of stuff. How could George forget the cherry? Just as George was about to taste his masterpiece, Mr. Herb came over. He was still angry. But I don't know what he's angry because the man with the yellow hat said that he could buy some ice cream and eat it, and he certainly looks like he's having something. Just might cost $100. But before Mr. Herb could scold George, the crowd rushed in. You know, if you say don't, people do it. If you don't want somebody to do something, you don't say, don't touch that, because all they can really picture in their mind, see, little children make pictures before they do words or do read. So everything's pictures. So I think that's my idea anyway. So if you say don't touch that, then all they can remember is touch that, because they don't have a picture for don't. Oh, the people came in. They flooded in the store. I'd like the... Wait a minute, hold on. The crowd rushed in. I'd like a raspberry sundae, said the man. And I'll have a banana split, said the other. Mr. Herb could hardly keep up. The orders kept pouring in. Finally, everyone was served. Thanks for all those customers, George, Mr. Herb said. You messed up my big order, but you sure made up for it. Just then, the man... Who? Which man? What color hat did he wear? Yep, man with the yellow hat, just like me. I'm the lady with the yellow hat. No, I'm not related. The man with the yellow hat came back. Have you finally decided what flavor you want, George? What kind of a man asks a monkey who's left in the store for an hour what kind of stuff is wrong? Doesn't he know by now that George has gotten into tons of trouble and eaten everything and taken handfuls out of stuff? Goodness. Good thing there weren't eggs there. He probably would have... Okay. Have you finally decided what flavor you want, George? He sure did, said Mr. Herb. A little of everything. And that is the story of Curious George going to the ice cream shop. And my hands are frozen. Okay, see you later. Bye.